Et yo tout le monde, aujourd'hui on se retrouve pour l'épisode 14 du Let's Play Genshin Impact avec seulement des catalyseurs. Donc normalement nous allons enfin arriver à cette magnifique cité Inazuma aujourd'hui, après avoir parlé à Catherine ainsi qu'être allé sur le bateau de Beidou. Allez vas-y.
Ad Astra Abyssosque. What can I do for you, traveler? Ah, yes. I've heard that you've already made arrangements with the captain of the Crux fleet regarding your passage to Eden. Now that I think about it, it's been quite some time since I last visited those lands.
There you are. You're the traveler that Beidou will be taking to Inazuma, right? Oh, is that right? The fleet is nearly completed reprovisioning. Once the crews have taken... Captain Beidou sent me to come get you. We'll weigh anchor as...
Beidou is the captain of our word.
Of course. There are many things that the captain insists upon.
Bah, c'est super tout ça.
So you'll be heading off then? I suppose congratulate whether the journey before you leads to the heights of the heavens or the depths until we meet again. Ad Astra Abyssosque.
Oh, kind of hard to say goodbye now. With that,
Well, if that's how you feel, why not come and find me when you arrive? I'll be awake.
so there's another Catherine in Inazuma?
Hmm.
See, there's no need to...
Well, I guess it's time for you to bid farewell to Liyue Harbor. Now that I've delivered my message, I'll be heading back.
Okay, thanks for coming all this...
Just following orders. Awesome.
Très bien. Alors attendez, je vais fouiller un peu parce que normalement il y a des coffres sur le... Voilà, c'est ça.
Abandoned property belongs to whoever finds it first. So,
Ouais, bon.
You finally made all these years, come rain or storm. The Crux fleet has never suffered a delay. If it were anyone else, I might have set sail already. Don't look too serious, I'm only joking. You're just on time. Crew of just... Well, now that everyone... We set sail for the land engulfed by storm and tempest. The
Anchors, away!
Ahoy there. So, you finally made it. You sure kept me waiting, Captain. And it appears we have a couple of stowaways. Or perhaps I should say...
You can blame your almighty shogun. The tempests around Inazuma have been growing all the more fierce lately. Though the fleet was fully up to the challenge, the inclement weather still caused some delay. Now then, let me introduce everyone. This is Toma, a trade...
You don't know how long I've been waiting to see you.
Toma, these two are...
Oh, no need for introductions. Their reputation precedes them. Seems even the stormy seas can't keep rumors.
Oh, it's sure nice to hear.
With any luck, it'll give you a head start here. Toma's resided on Ritou for quite some time now. It wouldn't be going too far to say he's the... If you run into any problems here, just talk to Toma. But if he tries to pull any moves on you, I'll be sure to deal...
No need to worry. I'm sure we'll get along just fine.
Good. Then if it's all settled, I'll be going. I wouldn't want to be caught with my sails down here. I do have...
Oh, right. Kazuha.
Until next time, traveler. Remember to give it your all, no matter what perilous storms you may encounter.
Fair seas, Captain Beto.
Now then, first things first. We need to go get you registered at the border checkpoint.
Paimon thought we were supposed to be keeping things on the down low.
Don't underestimate the reaches of the Sakoku Decree. You wouldn't be... So we have to play by the rules, even if we're kind of bending them.
Hello? Please state your name, identity, and the purpose of your visit. You must be... Excuse me? Please provide the information requested and also declare any goods you are... Currently, only members of the International Trade Association are authorized to engage in the import and export of... My apologies, but I'll have to ask you to...
Here are their entry papers. For...
What? Ugh, take your time. No rush or anything.
I just wanted to see what you'd say.
I see. Okay. Your papers are all in order. Well...
So...
The Outlander Affairs Agency. They only check entry permits here. If you want to remain on Ritou, there's a
Sheesh. So it is super...
Well, let's not forget that to everyday folk in Inazuma, as the word suggests, Outlanders aren't very welcome in Inazuma with the Sakoku... Not even on Ritou, where they've established an outsider settlement. I like how you think. I've got a feeling we're going to get along very... Now, let's head over to the Outlander Affairs Agency. Most of the current rules were put in place by the administration of Ritou, the Kanjo Commission.
The Kanjo Commission?
Yes, one branch of the Tri-Commission of Inazuma, responsible for growing and managing the nation's wealth. You really haven't heard of it before?
You've completed the entry procedures, yes? And now you want to apply for residence?
Yes, please.
Okay, the processing fee will be 2 million mora.
2 million? For a press...
That's right. 1 million per applicant, which makes 2 million total. Don't worry.
Paimon wasn't so much questioning your
Ma'am, these two here are good friends of mine.
Ah, Mr. Toma, it's you. By way of courtesy, allow me to reduce it to...
Thank you ever so much, Miss Eureka. But as this is just a processing fee, I think 600 mora should cover it if I'm paying on their behalf. I'll treat you to dinner too.
That's not how you haggle! By all means, bargain the...
All right then, as you wish, Mr. Toma. I will make a record.
Much obliged.
She went from 2 million down to 600? There's something seriously wrong with people's sense of finance around here!
It's not as mind-boggling as you think. Processing fee is... The way some here at the agency see it, the fees are easy money. So it becomes a question of how much. So when the day comes that some poor merchant from overseas with more money than sense gets stuck here and needs to apply for residency...
Then they'll milk them for all they're worth.
Exactly. It's at times like this that having a local friend really comes in handy. Yes, but when you're an outlander in Inazuma, far from home in this closed nation era, the most that overseas merchants can do to look at, that's how the International Trade Association came about.
So it's a trade association built by...
Yep. And as well as advancing commercial interests, the association provides help, support, and essentially, it's an association devoted to both commercial excellence and survival skills.
Sounds like just staying alive is an achievement when you're an outlander in Inazuma.
I see. So this is the real purpose of your trip. Yes, given that you are outlanders, it's... After all, the Raiden Shogun is the most exalted and revered one in all of Inazuma. She is a deity who reigns on high. Well, I was going to say nothing is set in stone when it comes to who you will encounter in this world. Who's to say you won't happen to run into the Raiden Shogun one day after lunch?
Uh-huh. And...
Okay, I'll give it to you straight. I know of a way to introduce you to...
Really? Wow! The Ritou Fixer's better...
I mean, it will take all the resources I have at my disposal, but it can be done. How connections come at a high price, you...
not you too!
No. In this instance, when I say price, I'm not... In fact, there's no real cost as such. It's just that if this is something you really want, you'll have to agree to help other people solve some of their problems. I like to do things in a way that keeps everybody happy. It's my own personal rule for dealing with
Sounds very reasonable to Paimon. You're the man in the middle, so you have to trade favors to keep everyone indebted to you.
Why do I get the feeling you're making me out to be some sort of crook? Never mind. Here's the situation. As I touched upon earlier, the members of the International Trade Association are... Recently, things seem to have gotten more difficult than ever for them, so just go and check things out. See if there's any way you can help. The head of the association is called Caricio, and he's a good friend of mine. Go talk to him. I'll wait for you here.
Huh? Hello there. You must be seeking refuge with the inner... Ah, good. That's a relief.
We heard the association has been having some difficulties.
Yes. Left, right, and center. Obstacles at every turn.
The Sakoku decree certainly makes things difficult for anyone who wants to come here from a...
But it's not the root cause of our woes. The Sakoku decree might restrict our scope of activity. But in and of itself, it doesn't stop us from being able to enjoy... No. What's really squeezing us Outlander merchants dry is... those Mora grubbers from the Kanjo Commission.
Oh, of the 3 commissions...
That's right. They impose astronomical They just issued a new tax decree recently that, for some reason, completely changes the way we pay our taxes.
Crystal Marrow.
Something that most of us in the association had never heard of before either. Eventually, one of the older Liyue merchants recalled that he once shipped a batch of it to Snezhnaya in his youth. So, in order to pay our taxes, we began an arduous search for this But then we found we'd only managed to create a bigger problem for ourselves. The rising demand for crystal mirror... Now there's only one vendor who even has it in stock. We can't get a hold of it. Exactly. So this vendor keeps pushing the price up, and we have no choice but to buy from them. It's a vicious cycle. The consequence of which is that our taxes will soon exceed our profits. We've tried communicating with the Commission directly, but this is a nation where the cries of a few struggling merchants will never be heard over the Fontaine, my dear homeland. I miss you enough.
Sounds awful. They're really bleeding them dry. What do you think we should do? But Carisu's the head of the association, and even he hasn't had it.
Right. And besides, I think this may well be the fate they've ordained.
Okay. Well, we could try tackling handling the
I've actually done business with him in the past, but after a point he stopped contacting us.
Well, it definitely sounds like he's being unfair. How do we find him? We could go talk to him and see...
Hey, that's a pretty good idea. Since you're not affiliated with the association and you're new to Ritou, if I remember correctly, our usual meeting point with him is under a tree by the coast in the residential district.
Got it! We're on the
Huh? I don't think I recognize you. So, what do you need with me? The sheer nerve. You don't go around asking questions like that. If I gave you my trade secret, got it? You know what trade and secret mean, right?
This guy's got a bad attitude.
Ha! Are you even buying? Oh, I see what's going on here. They're wasting their time.
Hey, what's your problem?
Get out of here, go on. Tell them they're lucky to be buying from me in the first place, and they ought to be more grateful. If it weren't for me, they'd be in seriously...
What are we gonna do? There's no talking to this guy. Good idea. Let's check back in with him.
That was quick.
Actually, we're having a little...
Oh? Well, by all means, tell me what you need. Getting you to go fixing things when you've only just arrived is quite a demand. Oh, that guy? I'm familiar. He used to be a bit of a sorry sight, selling shells that he collect on the beach just to get by. I can only assume he must have found himself a patron after leaving the...
You're saying he used to be a member of the International Trade...
Yes. Couldn't you tell when you spoke to him? That's right. Werner was born in Mondstadt, then went into the shipping business. When Inazuma closed to the outside world, he was one of a group of outlanders that ended up The International Trade Association was initially very generous to him, but over time, with decree after decree, the association members found it increasing...
So he left the association and turned...
I'm sure it's more nuanced than that. I believe even the most ungrateful and cold-hearted of peoples...
Really? Is that all you...
Well then, it sounds like you may have found a way...
What are you doing back here? Just because I got plenty of time on my hands doesn't mean I want to waste any of it talking to you. Huh? Where's this coming from? Mondstadt? You were talking about... Mondstadt? Goodness, I can sense it now. So familiar, but I can't remember the last time I was... the scent of Mondstadt. Oh, how it takes... my hometown. The home of freedom. So, trying to play my... Huh? What is this? What are you up to now?
Just close your eyes already!
You mean... the sound of the ocean? Leah Harbor. I can see it so clearly. And the sound of Xiao lanterns. I'm right there at the lantern.
This guy has a really active imagination. Either that or he really does miss...
Leah. Wait. Stop. That's enough. Don't make me relive it anymore. You mean, the folks from the International Trade Association. Often, I'll sneak down to the shore at night and listen to the sound of the waves. I like to imagine I've run into folks from the association more than a few times doing just that, but I always hide my face and slip away. Don't you think I've wanted to talk things through with them and free myself from this
Well, no one's stopping you.
They're so resilient. None of them had anyone else to rely on, so they rallied together, committed to finding a way to survive. But I couldn't do it. So I caved. Those people, they'd make the smallest of promises, offer the most measly benefits, and I'd do whatever they asked of me. All right, I'll tell you the whole story. It's eating me up inside.
You ready to talk now?
But I betrayed them. I can't...
Come on, you scaredy cat. Look, you messed, so come on, get it.
It's a scheme by the tax collection Ashigaru. Keijiro and his companions. They start by overtaxing the merchants, then take the extra crystal marrow Once the merchants run out of places to buy crystal marrow, they get me to sell that extra stock back to the merchants at an extortionate price, with the...
It's plain evil gouging them like this.
I'm their puppet, yes. But my cut is a tiny fraction of what we take in total. Evidence? Now that I think about it, whenever I report back to him after a sale, he always heads to the same... As it happens, I handed some Mora over to him not long ago.
Really? Well then...
Keijiro! It's him!
After him!
Which one should I choose? Should I close my It's not like I'll get any customers.
Ah, Ryoko, how's business?
All the better thanks to your generous patronage.
Good. Thankfully, I earn plenty these days.
Oh, but of course, tax collection is difficult work.
Now, who else is behind on payments? Let me think. Yes, the Trade Association clique still needs to be brought into line. What was that sound?
Quiet! Don't let him find us! Too close! That's too close! He'll notice us for sure! He's getting further and further away! Let's catch up a little! He's getting further and further away! Let's catch up a little!
What could he be doing at a place like this?
It looked like he buried something over there, didn't it? Whoa, it's boring! Paimon thought he'd hidden a big pile of Mora here. Yeah.
Let me take a look here. Aha! Yes! This is what we're looking for. A clear...
Great! Well, now we have our hard evidence. Let's go tell Karisu the good news, shall we?
I'll...
Huh? You aren't gonna...
I need a little more time before I'm ready to face the head of the association.
Huh. Poor Werner is a pretty...
But we really don't have anything left. If this keeps up, our sales will come in at a loss.
You know the decree. The rules are the rules. No discounts, no exceptions, and no... And who are you? Another new member of the association?
It just so happens that we found your little ledger, so now we're here to tell...
Huh? You've been swindling us!
Well, you see,
Let me take a look at the ledger. Well, would you look at that? Every payment the So, Mr. Keijiro, it seems you have some explaining to do.
So you think you can use this against me, do you? It's quite
Word has it that samurai and the commission place great importance on reputation and prestige. Though I'm sure commission...
Huh? Is that a threat? Are you
No, not at all. I'm simply stating that it would be quite a pity if an illustrious gentleman...
well, even if what you say is true, what do you suggest we do about it?
I believe you still have a quantity of crystal marrow in your possession. Correct? Perhaps that crystal marrow could be used as compensation for the recent tax hike, and us merchants could finally have some more breathing room.
Is that it?
Oh, do you have any idea the hoops I had to jump through to get the crystal marrow and keep it hidden? Fine. In that case, I'll send...
And not even an ounce of shame...
So that's it? My shop's been closed for weeks now. I've even had to ask my friends to help bail me out.
Come on, Harrison. We've already started...
I'm sick of being pushed around like this. I won't let him off so easily.
Harrison!
Hey, what's all this racket? Does someone dare question the decree?
Ah, Chief, you've arrived.
What was all the commotion I heard just now?
Oh, we were just discussing a minor tax issue. I do my utmost to lend them a helping hand.
A helping hand? The only thing you're doing is stuffing your greedy pockets with our hard-earned wealth. I assure you that Hirage Shinsuke will hear of this.
Oh, and you dare to utter the Commissioner's name. You Outlanders have no respect for the rule. Seize the merchants. We will resolve this dispute back at head...
Uh-oh.
Gentlemen, come now. Is there any need for this? If there's a dispute to resolve...
Who are you supposed to be? And why in my right mind would I join you for a drink?
You never heard of the Fixer?
Here's my card.
Huh. You're from the Yashiro Commission.
Shh.
Huh. Well, this is Kanjo Commission territory. However powerful the Yashiro Commission may be.
Of course not. Still, perhaps you could show the young... lady of our clan some courtesy. You wouldn't want your name showing up in a petition to the Shogun, would you?
That fan. The Shirasagi Himegimi. I don't need any trouble with her.
But, Chief!
Enough!
Let's get dinner one day soon, gentlemen. My treat, I insist. No response, huh? I suppose that bridge is...
Thank you so much, Toma. But I'm sorry your relationship with the Kanjo Commission had...
Hey, I was joking. It's a small price to pay, and you're more than welcome. If there's... if nothing else, I'm sure the tax collection Ashigaru will tread a...
Toma, what was all that?
Shh, not here. Too many people listening. Corruption seems rife in the Kanjo Commission. They truly are rotten to the core. All right, time for me to answer your questions. What would you like to know? Straight to the point. I belong to the Kamisato clan of the Yashiro Commission on Narukami Island. I'm an attendant of the Shirasagi Himegimi.
You've been keeping your true identity a secret. So, the Yashiro Commission. Guessing that's another branch of the Tri-Commission?
Correct. The Kamisato clan is the head of the Yashiro Commission, who manage ceremonial and cultural affairs. I'd go into more detail on... I'm just someone who was fortunate enough to be taken in by the Kamisato clan. My role is to take care of the daughter of the clan, Kamisato Ayaka, also known as the Shirasagi Himegimi.
Seems like she must be super famous in Inazuma.
Oh, most definitely. She's graceful, dignified, and kind. Her fame even somewhat eclipses that of her older brother, Kamisato Ayato, despite the fact that he's the current head of the clan. I suppose those who treat others with compassion earn themselves the same treatment in return. Miss Kamisato's situation certainly seems to attest to that. Take me, for example. I'm just an attendant, and yet she treats me as an equal, as she would a friend. You're asking the right questions, and to be honest, I don't want to keep you in the dark any more than is necessary. Firstly, you should know that being a fixer is not something you can fake. I spent the better part of a month tirelessly building up a network of relationships on the island.
Still pretty good going for just a month's work.
Well, maybe I have a slight knack for schmoozery. But the main thing was, I had to make sure I'd be in time to Inazuma may have closed off to the outside world, but that hasn't stopped a lot of people from hearing about your feats in Mondstadt and Liu. So, when Miss Kamisato heard of your intention to come to Inazuma, she began looking forward to your arrival with great anticipation. That is, that you have what it takes to change
the tide of the time?
In the test I gave you earlier, although there were a few hiccups at the end, it was you who found the way to turn the situation around. Navigating powerful people, using their character flaws to your advantage. It's just what Miss Kamisato had hoped to see. With your help, even the Vision Hunt decree... That's an unexpected development. Perhaps... Yes, of course. I completely understand.
Toma sure did...
Well, my work on Ritou is done. So I suppose... one more thing. This invitation letter is for you. When you get to Narukami Island, good luck with everything.
Toma's not such a bad guy, huh? Huh? What's up? Oh, right! Wait, so... did Toma forget that too? Oh, darn it! No wonder he was so... As soon as we get off Ritou, Paimon's going straight... Well, guess we should give it a try. Let's head to the border and...
Stop there! Present your travel permits.
Sorry, but we really gotta get to Narukami Island.
If you don't have a travel permit, this is as far as you'll get.
Traveler, you gotta think of something. Are you saying we should go and meet with the... Guess it can't hurt to try. Even if Paimon has a few choice words, who knows? Maybe he's our biggest fan.
Halt! This is the Kanjo Commissioner's office. No trespass.
We're here to see,
The Kanjo Commissioner seldom entertains Outlanders. Leave now or we'll be forced to...
Wait.
Oh, Commissioner!
These two are honored guests from afar. No need to give them the usual spiel. Come on in. Let's see what we can...
My since...
I am Hiragi Shinsuke, Kanjo Commissioner and head of the
Nice to meet you, sir. So, the reason we wanted to come and...
All right, all in good time. Two travelers renowned far and wide have shown up to see me, and I should very much...
So what you're saying is...
Absolutely. How many other people in the world have what it takes to knock the wind out of Storm Terrace?
Exactly! Paimon thinks you make...
And I hear you also foiled a Fatui plot in Liu Harbor. Even beat...
Whoa! You heard about that too?
As I...
Something wrong?
No. I'm simply Ritou is greatly honored to have... One other thing I heard about you is your great zeal for helping other people. This makes me wonder whether...
Oh, sure! No problem! Whatever you need!
Excellent. Well, you must know the Qingxian. A flower grows on the mountain.
Yep! We've picked a few of those before. So...
Yes, bring me 300 Qingxian, would you? Freshly picked, I mean.
Did Paimon hear that wrong?
Too much trouble. Then how about this? We have a few items that need delivered.
That sounds much more like...
709 letters to be...
Hey, what gives? How come you don't have people to do that already?
Terribly sorry. We're just a little short on people lately.
What sort of an explanation is that? Traveler, what are we going to do? Should we really help this guy?
That's the spirit. Don't keep me waiting too...
Halt, you two!
Huh? What a...
Miss Hiragi has a letter for you. She insists that you read it immediately.
A letter? Quick! Let Paimon see! So this means she wants you to secretly meet her at night. But you didn't seem surprised at all by this. Huh? Have you been up to something? Look.
You finally arrived. Allow me to introduce myself. This is technically the second time we have met. It's a...
Wow. She's the daughter of the hero.
No need to be so formal. I've long marveled at your accomplishments. And at last...
Is it Paimon or does something...
The reason why I wanted to secretly meet you here is... Well, I...
Discuss...
I should like to ask for your help with delivering a letter.
Like father, like daughter. Couldn't you be more...
No, you misunderstand me. Please, I was hoping that you could deliver a letter to Narukami Island in my stead. It is to be given to My father has always forbidden me from communicating with him. He knows that there are prospects for my marriage that would better serve him politically. There is no one who would dare defy my father's will on Ritou, but you are Outlanders. Outlanders seeking to get...
Paimon gets the whole picture.
Of course, in doing so, I will also do everything in my power to help you leave Ritou. To be perfectly honest, as long as you remain in Inazuma, my father will...
Yeah, we figured as much. It was pretty obvious he would...
I secretly overheard a conversation between my father and a very arrogant-sounding woman. They seemed to be discussing how to keep you here on Ritou. In fact, it was the first time I had ever heard my father speak so respectfully to someone who wasn't the Shogun. We don't have much time. I'll tell you my plans to help you off the island. It just so happens that a shipment of goods is... Very well. I'll be waiting for you at the border. Hold on, please. These goods are being sent to...
My lady, this is an unexpected honor. You are correct. These goods...
Is there something wrong, Lady Hiragi?
No, as you were. My father simply has some concerns of the ship...
My lady, you aren't suggesting that you intend to escort the shipment personally, are you? There's certainly no need for you to trouble yourself with such a
Please, do not cause us any further delay. If memory serves me right, my father has already asserted that this...
Yes, of course, my lady. It's just that...
Now, need I remind you of the penalty if anything were to happen to me? Do you really presume that you can fully guarantee my safety on...
Boy, Chisato can talk the...
Yes, my lady. Very well then. It's an honor to have you accompanying us.
Shinojo, you can't really...
Well, the request is from Lady Hiragi herself. It is our...
Yes, but That's not the problem.
Well then, if we're through here, I suggest we set off at once. Dawdling will only allow...
Yes, my lady.
My lady, please stay back. We'll handle it.
Not as well as we'll handle it! Are you seriously considering doing this job? The terms are ridiculous! Stay put!
Let's get down to business.
Get them!
Surrendering will be different.
Silence!
To the ferry.
Monster sighted! Prepare to counterattack! Protect Lady Hiraki at all costs!
We'll take care of this! Stay with Chisato!
Come a little closer.
Don't be scared! I'm the frying pan!
You're in for a little...
Watch out! More monsters inbound! Lady Hiraki, stay close!
Finally,
Boba, get them! Stay put!
Settle down!
you win. This...
We can take refuge in the village up ahead. How are you faring, my lady?
I'm perfectly all right. You may stop here. The road to Narukami Island... In my letter, I've requested Kamaji to grant you a special travel permit from the Tenryou Commission. Consider it...
My lady?
So that's how it is. I had a feeling something was up.
No, Lady Hiragi would never hide anything from us. I'm sure of it. But who...
I'm not afraid to say that he's the one I love.
The one you love?
Shinojo, did you honestly think that...
What? No, I was just clarifying, that's all. I would never in my...
You two needn't worry. Please, forget that this ever happened. If my father catches word of it, I alone will be held accountable.
Yes, of course.
But what will happen if your actions here...
Don't fret. My father has always been one to spoil me. The worst he'd do is sentence me to half a day with a...
Paimon never suspected a guy...
I wish you a safe journey. I'm sure we will meet again.
Bye, Chisato!
Come now. Quit your staring and let's get moving. We've got goods to shift.
All right.
to the letter...
Sorry, we don't serve the general public. I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
Wait! We're not the general...
Well then, you must be a couple of wandering outlanders that snuck...
Are our clothes really so...
The Yashiro Commission's seal. In which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House, a safe haven.
Well, that sounds more like it. Well, now that we're here, we're... Paimon doesn't see him anywhere.
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about...
What? Is that dog talk?
Relax. No need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you've seen me? Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in Liyue Harbor?
Ah, now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem less out of the ordinary.
Alright. I've had my fun.
Hey! You're this close to getting an ugly...
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been so I came up with this little fun greeting for when you arrive. But in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went through earlier. It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Miss Kamisato, and whether you had the courage to face the lightning alongside us.
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just...
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies. Let me just say this. You've often found yourself skirting the rules from the very... Naturally, this is due to your unwavering and resolute determination. A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same. But when the lightning struck... Ah, so you've heard of his story. His light still burns all the more brightly. Yes, of course. I will bring you to the But before that, there is one other place I was hoping...
Oh? Where?
I would like you to come with me to the statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now.
Are Paimon's eyes playing trick?
Visions.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt Decree are...
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt Decree. Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt is the city of... As for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful... The Eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will to... As such, she relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate the nation's affairs, and the Sakoku Decree to limit. The Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the stream of time to flow from one end to the...
Seems like every god has their own will.
Of course, this is my own limited understanding. As for the reason behind the recent vision hunt, perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change, and that her eternity doesn't allow for such instant... Whatever the case, the fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched the Tenryou Commission to scour the nation for visions. And this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of eternity.
But if that's the case, wouldn't you say that the...
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out, and yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt Decree is something that simply should not exist. And Miss...
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like you're...
Sound? What sound? I didn't...
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then...
Aspirations? That would... Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, The gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision. So if what you just said is true, then the ambitions of these people are stronger than I imagined. Alright, time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live, huh? Paimon kinda expect—
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guests. Miss—
Is this the Shirazage Himegimi you keep going on Oh, behind—
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato— Consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro Commission. Forgive me if this is an unwelcome—
Makes sense. She's a super—
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion, as I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. And at present in Inazuma, in the name of the vision, though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share close bonds. Given the contact a commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Traveler, lend us your power, and we can— Oh.
See, milady, it's just like I said. This will
No, please! Wait! Please! I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun, on one condition.
What are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps when—
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt decree.
Correct. Please do all you can to help. Then—
I'm sure you'll—
Bon, bah, très bien. Village de Konda, ok.
Why are you doing this? My
Precisely. It's much too sudden. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play.
Must be the guy Ayaka told us.
D'accord.
Ah, you must also. Tejima has protected this place, keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near. But now, all of a sudden, he says he planned. We will gladly apologize if that's the case.
D'accord.
If you want my opinion, it's clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong. And still, they confiscated it. I can't claim
Ah, ils perdent leurs ambitions.
but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. He went off on a... Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do. But equally...
Seems like he's a well-respected...
Écoute mec, tu peux pas te barrer comme ça.
You must be Tejima. So what...
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave. True. But that's not why I chose. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? And I don't have answers to those questions because I can't remember. Ever since they took my vision away, it's like in the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you chose to stay... If you can't remember anything... Oh, maybe if you just try a little harder to remember, then...
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit.
I keep a diary?
Oh, yes. Yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying...
D'accord.
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from leaving...
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary. We should head back to the...
Très bien, retrouvons le journal. Là, le journal, il est là.
This looks like Tejima's done. Let's see what today. The villagers and I got together because today I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was... I went kite flying today. The strict... Seems like your average dad, huh? I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me is faded out. That's the kind of info we're looking for.
D'accord. L'hôtel.
The Omamori... Interesting. Looking at the top, but anyway, if he
L'électroculus qui est en mode hello.
there's a chance some of his help...
Là.
Here we are. The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around for 30...
Est-ce qu'on a un autre œil divin? Ah non. Si nous sommes séparés par cette guerre, attends-moi au village du Konda. Il devrait y avoir un foyer paisible qui nous attend, nous, là-bas.
So the reason Tejima... But he's been here for 30 years. Oh, guess they didn't... Well, let's go give Tejima...
C'est triste. Non, vraiment, c'est triste.
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. I have still. It's clear that I was waiting over the years. I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were finally reunited. just look at all the things that did happen over the years. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Love, regret, everything I felt for her. No, after all, I've forgotten who she was. Her face, her voice, the things we experienced together. I barely recall any of it. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all the... I think... maybe not. If this is something I waited most... Although... what if she were to turn up eventually? Only to find when I think about it...
Ça c'est sûr.
I'm curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember who she is? I shall remain here and keep waiting for her.
Tejima seems to be feeling okay, but still makes Paimon really sad. It's just like Ayaka and Toma were saying.
C'est très important après tout.
Lose your vision, you lose all your hopes and dreams too. That certainly explains this. At least we were able to help him. Well,
À l'autre personne. Aller à l'entrée de la ville. Un samouraï. Autant dire un soldat de l'armée.
they're the ones responsible for maintaining law and why would they take action against one? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation. How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about...
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some goods to be pocketed by greedy sick...
Bah oui, ils vont fort quand même.
Whatever you please. The Tenryou Commission will hear of this.
Oh, huh? And who are you? One of Kurosawa's get...
What? We heard the commotion and came to see what...
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible for... In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. He's keeping the provisions for himself. I just know it. We'll starve with...
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man. But he's shown his true color. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him helping her rule the nation.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But why would she... Maybe we
En fait, il a dû changer à cause du fait qu'on ait retiré son ID.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding supplies, would I still be the only family can barely get by as it is? No, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to attend to. And that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off on my work. Apparently, I'd even disappoint.
C'est une excuse, je trouve. Hein.
To be perfectly honest, all I know is that I will perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that. I have this unsettled...
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provisions?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times right now. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders. Which is why I came here in the first place. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself.
But we better confirm. Let's go round up these people to follow their track.
Bon. Bon, saleté, où vous êtes? Ça m'étonne même pas.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the...
You haven't seen anything yet. Today is just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on it. You demand, boss.
Ouais, calme-toi mon gars. Très bien. Venez là, bande de sous-merdes. Ouais, je t'ai tapé qui là? Oh là, va baiser ta mère.
Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone
Oubliez
like
ça.
Kurosawa. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew.
So what did you see inside? Was it
Food supplies. You kidding? That place was a complete mess. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got back. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box for our freedom.
You've got a deal. Now show us what's in the...
Huh? What the?
There's nothing in here but IOUs.
Ouais, d'accord.
A lot of them, and they all seem to be made out to the owner of the Terrible Goods Store. A Miss Aoi. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to the bottom of it. As for you guys, you're free to go. Just...
So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs. Does that mean we broke even?
Ah, techniquement, oui.
Shut it. Let's...
Ah, ok, c'est au-dessus. Bon, autant se TP, hein, ça ira plus vite. Hein. Bonjour.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. Or perhaps there's some... so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it?
Whoa, whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money?
C'est-à-dire que s'il en a tant que ça doit faire peur.
Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the... However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out...
So that's how he was getting those emergency... But why did he have to purchase a usual amount? The prices increased.
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to sustain them each time. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather...
Wow. Kurosawa, no one ever appreciated what he did. They just complained. And now
people's
Ça se fait pas, sérieux.
always reflect their circumstances. In the face of... if you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth, of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions, and if you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yours? I see. That reminds me, most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword. Sword? Oh, didn't he tell you? I've asked him about his origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that in hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price.
Ça va, techniquement oui, mais...
Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answer. Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly settle today's bill.
But we...
Information is also a kind of command. Don't worry. I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa.
La meuf, elle me fait payer 2000 moras juste parce qu'elle a dit 2-3 trucs. Mais vraiment, on se fait... Inazuma, c'est la... En fait, cette cité, ici, c'est la cité de l'escroquerie. Vraiment. Inazuma en elle-même, c'est pas une escroquerie, mais c'est cette cité. Cette cité, c'est l'escroquerie pure et dure. Ici, les gens, ils pensent que au fric.
presented them with a choice. Either they left, it turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were just...
Strange. Is that really the kind of... I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all, why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? But I could not deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, this sword was once wielded by my... I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. What did they say? It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. All I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed and said to me,
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words in Greek. Can you recognize the words?
Virtue? Somehow those two words seem to explain taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must... But what use of virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need. The Tenryou Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so... And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when I'm incapable of being a good person. Yet I'm...
Yet another trouble. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. And we must never let... Yeah. Seems fortunately for us. Let's go find the next one.
Bon, la dernière personne.
That challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought.
Maybe, but things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never.
It's just because he's been possessed. That's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there.
Who are you? Don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out! Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong. We just came here to...
L'un des disciples.
Yeah. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. It's the whole reason. But then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got possessed.
From the way you're dressed, please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble. We haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new... I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple, Sensei's name is Doma. And though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword, and so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly inspired us. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his
Naïve, il n'a plus jamais été aimé.
He says the strangest things over and over. And he refused. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's being possessed by an evil spirit. So, if I'm honest, I still have my...
Narukami Shrine.
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed... Not that we have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism. So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just... The exorcism will take place this evening. We're both...
Losing your vision can cause possession?
Bah, revenons le souhait.
was attending to him. When she asked him who the people were, he suddenly looked pent and looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him, all the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew, others we didn't recognize. But they all seemed to be the names of sort. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in the duel. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water. If he wakes up, he is sure to...
Oh, le malotru. Toi là. Toi.
How did you... Are you sure you're Dolmon's disciple unless... I guess it's been a few years.
Excuse me? We're the ones that... And what are you doing sneaking around these parts?
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know... Anzai.
Anzai, c'est lui, ok.
Because I don't wish to see Dolmon or anyone else associated with... When we were young, we trained under the same sword master. Studied... begun training 5 years before him. And everyone looked up to me as practitioners of Make-Yoshi art seek to achieve a stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. So the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward, but Dolmon was different. First thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beep. Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best sword master, I thought so too at the time. But Dolmon began making swift. Only then did I realize that it was Dolmon who had long since freed his mind from... He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from this.
Sure sounds like he meant business.
La motivation là était là.
You don't want to ever see him again.
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed
T'es
as
jaloux en
sensei
fait.
as of all the disciples. I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations from me. Dolmon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy. After that I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down though, I still respected his... Though, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he, of all people, have lost his... I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. Okay, you heard my story. You should get back now.
Seems like we got it wrong this time. You still... Paimon's not sure we should bring him back.
Très bien.
Does that mean that he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible?
Nanako, please.
I'm sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignance, but spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. And all is certainly not lost. For I received word not long ago that...
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai that I...
Bah, il y a Emiko.
Shrine Maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's
correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience in the exorcism of... I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei, but Lady Yai can...
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask, should we prepare a greeting?
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to...
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand me. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct... Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo Shisui Art, will do our best to...
Sure! After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yai. We're curious to meet her too. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two.
Et encore de la route à pied. Quoique non, je passe par le mauvais chemin. Il faut passer par le domaine Kamisato. C'est par là. Oh, l'électroculus que... Bon. Je suis obligé du coup. Mais merci, je ne vois rien. Waouh. Oh, la POV elle était splendide. C'est pour le coffre. Ok. C'est où la suite? Ah, c'est par là. Ok. Ah, il y a trop d'escaliers, je vous en supplie. C'est aberrant le nombre d'escaliers qu'il y a. J'ai réussi à trouver un chemin. C'est pas exactement le même, mais c'est un chemin.
Abandoned property belongs to whoever finds it first. So, it's legally yours now.
Nous voyons enfin arriver au sanctuaire de Narukami. Ouais, voilà enfin. Regardez-moi cet arbre, ce cerisier, mais qu'il est beau. Le cerisier sacré. Qui offre des cadeaux en plus.
You think that's Lady Yai? Oh, no wonder Junyo is so excited. Also, is it just Paimon? It was probably nothing. It's not.
Keep away. I gave up the art of the sword. Please.
As you can see, Lady Yai, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duel's path.
Lady Yai, it must be a possession. This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what.
Non, moi je dis, moi je suis encore à cause du fait qu'on lui a retiré son idée.
It's clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil. Yes. This is unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under. He suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he fought as one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yai, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change?
Your school practices make Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough then. What of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both?
Lady Yai, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the swordmaster is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking to pursue the position of great. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters. To focus on the when that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly, much like a certain fatally flawed
Poor sensei. To think he's...
Sorry. It's the father.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that on? Follow us the whole way here?
D'accord.
Why are there two of you? These two are here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it would come.
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, you cut our ambitions short. Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer. Since you've been stripped of your, but that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak.
What if one day the same thing happens to them? I put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake? If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirates, I told myself I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do now. All I know, I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually,
goodness.
You see, you can place the being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, you are not in the same position that I was. When I left,
I'm sorry to have made you worried for me, for the state of me. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate, but as your sensei, I shall commit to impart. This is my promise.
Bah ça c'est bien.
And I humbly ask Anzai, my senior.
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you again, but I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore. So, well, don't just stand there staring at me. Say thank you.
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take...
Traveler, a moment please. So,
Like into a wind that blows from afar carries
Yay,
fresh life
Miko.
to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment. I have high hopes for you, child.
Ooh, Lady Yuck, she seems super mysterious. I'm so curious what she... We can come back to it another time.
Yemiko a toujours eu son côté spécial. Mais c'est un truc qu'on a toujours apprécié chez elle. Je la trouve vraiment très belle, Ayaka.
I have heard all about how you helped our three friends. My since...
Yeah, sure of it, Ayaka, how come this...
Because now that you have done the three things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends.
Oh, wait a second. But isn't Toma your, servant?
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining.
Oh, okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different.
Think you both got back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions.
Je pense qu'un jour ils pourront peut-être récupérer leurs yeux divins. Ce serait peut-être le mieux pour eux.
In the eyes of a deity such as the almighty thunder's roar, lightning's flash, the wind's assault, and the rain's descent. But I believe that surely you It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case, perhaps you would be willing to reconsider. You will? Really? Naturally.
Hi, bravo, my lady.
See? I told you she wouldn't reject them. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential...
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and repair any problem. Such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is...
D'accord.
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our...
Makes sense. Perfect place.
In any case, we can talk freely here. Of course. We have tried on numerous occasions. They invariably adopt a stance of it almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun. The almighty Shogun. She inspires awe, commands respect. It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, the issue is this. After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Because of this, the attitude of most...
How can they be like that?
Nevertheless, in addition to us...
Resistance? You mean like an army?
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya to say a little more about Sangonomiya. Historically, there has always been... But I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind... Oh? What would you like...
Have you got a plan yet to fight the vision?
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Well, for the moment, all we can do is, for example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge, or manufacturing counterfeit visions for them.
You're telling Paimon that there are people...
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, the problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who is providing us with counterfeit visions. Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of... Exactly. I feel the same way. But given my... By no means, when you are ready, go to Hanamizaka and look for a fireworks shop.
Voyons, ok.
Just hand it over. You don't want any trouble with it. If you think your elemental powers are enough to resist the vision hunt decree, believe me, you're not the first of your kind we've encountered, and we've seen the same
Can't you make an exception? I just got this vision. I won't even use it.
So this is the vision hunt decree in action, huh? We can't just sit around and watch... Hey, huh? There's someone trying to... Oh, what's going on? Can't you see me to go help? Shh, quiet. Just sit tight and what... Hey, this isn't right, you know. Just because you don't have a vision doesn't mean you can sit back and watch others and... Hey, wait. You do have a vision. Don't keep your voice down. I won't have one much longer.
All right.
wise children.
What should we do now? Is already given up. This is your fault.
Many thanks, Miss Yoimiya. If you hadn't swapped me a fake just now, I'm sure I would have...
No worries. You put on quite the convincing performance.
Oh, so that's what's going on here. See, Paimon was about to...
Bien joué, Yoimiya.
Think nothing of it. I could tell from
Ah, j'aime bien
we're
Yoimiya.
on the same side. You just didn't know it. Oh, right. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Yoimiya, current owner
Les
of
feux de
Naga
Naga, de Naga Noir.
It's honest work.
Naga Noir.
Great to meet ya.
Practically everyone on Hanamizaka knows Yoimiya. She's the queen of the summer festival. Without her and her fireworks,
feux d'artifice.
summer on Narukami Island just wouldn't be the same.
Whoa, that's quite the introduction.
Stop. As for thanking me, you'd be better off thanking Master Masakatsu. He's the one that gave me the fake visions in the first place. His handiwork allowed me to keep my own vision. Whew, I can't even imagine trying to...
Yes, Master Masakatsu is a good man. It's too bad good people seldom get the recognition they deserve.
Master Mas... Huh? Do you guys know him too? You don't say. And it sounds like the Shirasaki Himegimi has a plan, but if I just march straight in there by myself, I'd probably get... So, what about if I join you?
Sure, welcome to the team. Ayaka told us to go look for help at a fireworks shop.
Seems like I finally got a new job to do.
Bah Yaka a bien trouvé parce que Yoimiya,
Rivers in my shop, that is.
c'est très bonne idée.
So, Master Masakatsu is being held at police.
C'est bizarre parce qu'on dirait que le sanctuaire a été pris alors que je n'ai pris aucun sanctuaire Inazuma.
Talk about a reliable source.
Not bad, huh? Let's go. It's
time to freak him out.
On va aller libérer le maître. Alors apparemment c'est un peu plus loin que prévu. Ouais, c'est ça. Je croyais que c'était moins loin que ça. Et hop là. Entrons dans le donjon.
Now that we're inside, come on, this way. The small place certainly wouldn't want to end up locked away in here. Let's find Master Musk. We should split up. I've got a little present to you sure? Yes.
Très bien. Allons-y.
I must withdraw.
Regarde vite fait s'il n'y a pas des coffres, parce que je sais que dans ces trucs là il y a beaucoup de coffres. Je crois que j'ai été convaincant. On dirait des yokai, c'est trop stylé.
Who goes there?
Oh le bâtard. Mais c'est une dinguerie ça. Hello. Attendez. Oui. Il y a un coffre ici. Je vais le retenir.
You're in for a little shock.
Bow your head. I've been bested.
C'est une échelle, c'est pas pour rien. Oh, ok. Je viens de comprendre pourquoi. Même la musique elle est trop bien. essayer de voir si y a quelque chose. J'ai l'impression qu'il y a un truc derrière, mais je n'arrive pas à monter sur le... J'arrive pas à monter sur le décor en fait, merci. Pas l'air d'avoir quelque chose derrière. Non, y a rien derrière. Je fais ça pour rien. Le coffre de tout à l'heure. Oui, moi je prends mon temps. Et ouverture des portes. Oui, un coffre là, ok. On montre ici. Voilà. On va quand même regarder s'il n'y a pas d'autres. Non, il n'y en a pas d'autres. Même là, c'est bon. Bon, et bah alors je ne cherche pas, c'est bon. Oh, le masque de samouraï là. Quel flow.
Did you really think that little trick of yours could fool us?
Locking you up was...
Oh no! Those Tenryo Commission fruits are too... If we don't come up with a way to break him out fast, then... Yoimiya, when did you get back here?
I can't bear to watch. If anything happens to Master Masakatsu or...
Hey, you there! What are you doing?
Ah, ma'am.
We were just teaching him a little lesson, that's all.
Who's that?
That's Kujo-Sara.
Kujo-Sara.
The Kujo clan of the Tenryo Commission. She's also a general in the Shogun's army. What's she doing here?
Make way. Let me have a look at him.
Sarah.
I'm sure you're well aware that torture is strictly against military regulations.
Yes.
If you are unashamed of such disgraceful action, then you are also unworthy of the Tenryo Commission.
Yes, ma'am. It won't happen again.
Oh, I'm unsure.
Hey, this is our chance. Let's move.
Yoimiya, are you sure now's the right...
Who is that? Quick, go and investigate.
Yes, ma'am.
They're coming! Quick, hide!
Sorry.
Là, c'est sûr qu'on a fait de la merde. Hein.
Don't worry, I've got us covered. Time for my little...
Oh!
Fireworks!
Huh? Was that an explosion?
It sounded like fireworks.
Quick, let's hurry!
The fireworks were enough to just...
Fireworks aren't just for festivals, you know. I was particularly proud of this.
Yoimiya,
Well, fireworks are my craft after all. Every batch has to be spectacular.
Look, the coast is clear. Now's our chance.
Très bien, on va aller le sauver. Regarde, je sais pas un coffre. Comme d'hab. Ah bah c'est l'entrée classique. Quand ça se fait qu'on s'est pas fait remarquer? Je veux dire, genre on est rentré, on a fait comme ça. C'est chelou. On se serait fait remarquer quand même, mais bon. On dira rien.
Master Masakatsu! Sorry we took so long. Oh, come on! We've got no time to lose!
Et oh Sarah.
Yes. Leave. He's in serious condition. Be sure he gets immediate medical attention. But remember, once he's recovered, it won't be long until I bring him.
Well... you can bet...
Leave this.
Ça va, elle est pas mauvaise Sarah. Elle a des principes. Ça c'est bien. C'est bien qu'elle ait des principes.
Yes. Finally, I've made it out of...
Master Masakatsu, how do you feel? Can you hold on?
Don't worry. I think I can make it to the infirmary.
Thank you. All of you. I'll take him to get... Don't worry about us. Just take care of Master Masakatsu.
Très bien. Nous on va aller parler à Ayaka.
Good thing we were able... Right, Kojosara. It seems as though there are some okay people among... How about we go tell Ayaka?
Ouais, nous on va aller dire tout ça à Ayaka.
Sarah stayed her hand. It would appear she still has some on
peu.
to her.
Elle a de l'honneur,
I
Sarah.
wonder if we should try establishing contact with her. Perhaps we...
Unlikely. Don't forget, Kujo Sara is also carrying out the Vision Hunt decree. In her eyes, Master Masakatsu is of no threat to the decree. This is why she was so willing to allow his escape. If our true motives were ever divulged, she would act against us without a...
True. Though, if you ask me, Master Masakatsu's we are now one step closer to victory. And we couldn't have done it without Yoimiya, and you're turning out to be even more reliable.
Si.
Indeed. Things may have turned out very... But if we wish to mount any sizable resistance against the Vision Hunt decree, it is time we make ready our next set of plans.
There's no need to rush, my lady. Things seem to have taken a turn for the better, at least. Not only have we rescued Master Masakatsu... yes, which reminds me. The Tenryou Commission seems to be making preparations, and the number of samurai out enforcing the Vision Hunt decree seems to be waning. The days ahead may...
A ceremony, you say? Why would such a task be left to the Tenryou Commission?
I don't know, but I'm sure it has nothing to do with us. Anyway, with the Tenryou Commission busy with preparations, we should have a little more breathing room than usual.
You do present... Being in a constant state of alert will only tire us further. Perhaps a period... Toma.
I'd say a celebratory feast is in order. Funny enough, I learned a new hot pot.
What's that?
Simply put, every person prepares an ingredient to add to the hot pot. Then we take it in turns to close our eyes, pick an ingredient out of the pot, taste it, and guess whose ingredient it... Anyone who guesses correctly can go again, and whoever finishes the meal with the most points is declared the winner. Tradition even has it that the... Don't you think it sounds like fun?
Tu l'as pas un petit peu imaginé ton jeu là,
I've
Thomas?
already got my ingredients.
You really do wanna play, huh? Well, sounds like we've got our work cut out for us. Time to gather some... Ooh! Paimon proposes we gather raging demon-level Joyun Chili. This is already shaping...
Oh, my stomach! It feels like Yoimiya's fireworks are going off inside me.
Who would have guessed that Toma would be the winner? He ate practically all those weird ingredients without a...
Salt-crusted herring, unripe lavender melon, flash-boiled dango, oh, and whatever that thing was that nearly froze my tongue off. Hold up, my life is starting to flash before my eyes. So I might call it a...
You've only got
Ça
yourself
c'est
to
sûr.
blame, Toma. All those strange things you ate were ingredients you...
Weren't you the one who added those little cakes, Ayaka? I think the traveler ended up eating one. Boiling cakes in hot pot. Ugh. Think of the texture.
I must apologize. To be perfectly honest, I thought the cakes would be tasty.
Uh-oh. I'm definitely not okay.
Thomas, il est malade.
I feel like a new man.
You know, Toma, all you had to do was guess wrong on purpose and it would have been someone else's turn. Talk about being competitive.
Guess I've been feeling unlucky recently and wanted the god of hot pot. Perhaps I did get a little carried away. Still, I couldn't be beaten at my own game.
Ouais, ton propre jeu, voilà, c'est ça.
I think my luck has already taken a turn. So without further ado, I hereby declare that the winner of today's hot pot challenge is...
Oh, brother.
Good effort, team. Another important...
Yes. If the Tenryo Commission truly is as busy with preparations as Toma claims, and with the extra time, there are some other matters I wish to...
Let's all take some much-needed time off. After a few days' rest, we'll reconvene at the Komori Tea House. Downtime is hard to come by these days, so be sure... I'll tidy things up here and start thinking about our ingredients for our next round.
It's gonna be a sequel?
Sure, why not? We should play again now that everyone knows the rules.
Bye, Toma. Seems we won't need to be visiting the Komori Tea House.
Et bah voilà, on a fini le chapitre 2. Non, vraiment les quêtes d'Inazuma je les adore, je pourrais les faire en boucle. Vraiment, tout en quelles sont, je pourrais vraiment toutes les faire. Je suis pas sûr mais je crois, voilà. J'en étais sûr qu'il y avait au moins ce coffre là. Bon, on va s'arrêter là pour aujourd'hui. Pour cet épisode. Je vous remercie d'avoir regardé cette vidéo. Restez comme vous êtes parce que bah vous êtes super. C'était Kirin. Allez, bye tout le monde.